Let me tell you something real quick. You ain't just waking up to go to work. Nah, you're waking up to change your whole life. But the problem is, most people treat their mornings like just another checkbox on their to-do list. Alarm goes off, they roll over, hit snooze like it's a game, complain about the job, the boss, the traffic, and the bills, and then expect a miracle to drop in their lap. Let me ask you something. How you gonna get rich when your first thought in the morning is dread? That ain't the formula for success. That's the blueprint for struggle. Every single day you get up, you're either moving toward your dream or away from it. Ain't no standing still. Either you're building something or watching it burn. You think rich people just stumbled into wealth? You think they rolled over in bed, grabbed their phone, scrolled through social media, and somehow ended up with millions? No. They trained their mind first. They got up with purpose. They got up with a plan. They got up knowing they were about to crush the day before the day even had a chance to say hello. So here's what I want you to do every single morning before you step one foot out the door. I want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself, today I'm choosing me. Not the job, not the bills, not the noise, you. Because when you start choosing you, everything else starts to shift. Money follows purpose, opportunities follow discipline, riches chase after clarity. You want wealth, you want freedom, then talk to yourself like you're already there. Stop waiting for motivation to knock. It ain't coming. You got to build that thing brick by brick. You got to wake up and light your own fire. I don't care if you're living in a one-bedroom apartment eating noodles every night. Your mind got to live like a billionaire before your bank account ever does. You feel me? Doing what most people are too lazy, too scared, or too distracted to do. You want something different? Then you got to move different. You got to think different, and more than anything, you got to believe different. You've been programmed since you were a kid to believe life's supposed to be hard. They told you to play it safe, get a good job, stay quiet, don't take risks, retire at 65, and pray you got enough left in the tank to enjoy life after it already passed you by. That's a lie. That ain't the truth. That's survival. But you weren't born to survive. You were born to thrive. Every morning, before you touch your phone, before you check your emails, before you even brush your teeth, I want you to remind yourself who the hell you are. You're the one. You're the one that breaks the cycle. You're the one that rewrites the story. You're the one your family's been waiting on. But none of that matters if you keep waking up defeated, if you keep waking up tired, bitter, stressed out, and full of excuses. That's what broke thinking sounds like. And I don't mean just financially broke. I'm talking mentally broke, spiritually broke, confidence broke, energy broke. And you ain't gonna get rich with a broke spirit. You know what rich people do in the morning? They don't wake up complaining. They don't wake up watching the news, soaking in fear and nonsense. They wake up with gratitude. They speak life into themselves. They go to war with their doubts before the sun even rises. They say, today's mine, and then they move like it. So what's your morning routine saying about you? Because that routine, that first hour of your day is the most valuable hour of your life. That's the time when your mind is fresh, your spirit is open, and your future is listening. You can't keep wasting it. You can't keep rolling out of bed like you're being dragged into your own life. If you want to get rich, you got to treat your morning like it's your boardroom, like it's your war room, like it's your launch pad. Here's what I want you to do starting tomorrow. Before you leave that house, I want you to say out loud, I am powerful, I am focused, I am wealthy. I am the architect of my future. You keep saying that until your soul believes it. You say it like it's already yours. Because let me tell you something, the universe don't respond to wishy-washy energy. It don't respond to doubt. It responds to boldness, to faith, to discipline. That's how you move into the 2%. who live life on their own terms. But let me keep it real with you. Affirmations alone ain't enough. You can talk all day long, but if your actions don't match your words, it's just noise. You can say, I'm rich, while still living like you broke, and guess what? You'll stay broke. You can't just say it, you gotta walk it. You gotta grind like a millionaire before you ever touch a dollar. You gotta show up like the boss, even when you're still wearing the uniform. Look, waking up early, speaking life over yourself, moving with intention, that's not about pretending, that's about preparing. You're setting the tone. You're training your mind to recognize abundance when it shows up, because opportunities are all around you, but a broke mindset can't even see them. A distracted mind overlooks them. A bitter heart pushes them away. But a trained, focused, wealthy mind, it attracts them, it creates them. You ain't poor, you ain't stuck, you're just untrained. And that's good news, because training, that's free. That's on you. That's the stuff you control, your attitude, your focus, your habits. That's your ticket to wealth. And let me say this loud. Money doesn't come to desperate people. It comes to disciplined people. Desperation chases the next quick fix. Discipline builds the foundation. Desperation says, I need money now. Discipline says, I'm building wealth forever. Which one are you living in? Which one are you waking up with? Listen, you ain't working that job just to pay bills. If that's all you're doing, you're just surviving. You're caught in the hamster wheel. Wake up, go to work, get paid, pay bills, repeat. That's the cycle they want you stuck in. But if you really open your eyes, that job is just your seed money. It's your training ground. It's your current situation, not your final destination. Too many people treat their job like a prison instead of a stepping stone. You clock in like a zombie, give 60% effort, and then wonder why you're not getting 100% results. Nah, you got it twisted. If you want to get rich, you got to treat every single day like it's practice for the life you want, not the one you're stuck in. Every day is a test. Are you going to fold or are you going to focus? Are you going to complain or are you going to commit? People think wealth starts in the bank. It doesn't. It starts in your habits. It starts in your attitude. It starts in your mouth. That's why I say, watch your words in the morning. The words you speak before 9 a.m. are more powerful than what you do the rest of the day. So wake up and declare war on your excuses. Wake up and tell your fears they've got no place in your future. Wake up and remind your goals that you're coming for them. That's how champions live. They don't wait for life to hand them permission. They wake up, set the tone, and they go after it with everything they've got. You think millionaires just stumbled into their blessings? Nah. They were obsessed with growth, obsessed with learning, obsessed with showing up even when nobody was clapping. And I know what you're thinking, but I'm tired. Yeah, I know. You've been grinding, but tired don't mean stop. It just means you need to refocus. You've been pouring your energy into the wrong places. You've been working hard but not smart. You've been giving your best to everybody but yourself. Let me tell you something. If you gave even half the energy to your dreams that you give to your job, your whole life would change in 90 days. I ain't exaggerating. That's the power of locked-in focus. That's the magic of discipline. Now let's talk about distractions. Every morning you need to protect your mind like it's $1 million mansion, because it is. Your mind is your most valuable real estate, but most people got their mental doors wide open, letting in trash, news, gossip, negativity, drama, fear. It walks in like it owns the place, and guess what? It takes up space. It robs your joy. It steals your energy. So here's the rule. No drama before breakfast. No chaos before clarity. Your morning belongs to your vision, not to somebody else's crisis. You want to get rich? You want to live free? You better stop babysitting distractions. Social media ain't your morning coffee. Your phone ain't your motivation. That scroll is a trap. It's a comparison game dressed up in pretty filters. Every second you give to watching someone else live their life is a second you're not building your own. Cut it. Cut it first thing in the morning. Lock in on your goals. Write them down. Speak them out loud. Visualize them like they're already real. You don't need a fancy vision board. You need a vision mindset. Because when your mind is clear, your path becomes obvious. That job you hate, it turns into a launch pad. That skill you've been ignoring, it becomes your side hustle. That dream you shelved 5 years ago, it starts to wake up again. But it only happens if you show up differently, and it starts the moment you open your eyes. Now, let's talk about energy. You can't build an empire with low energy. You can't lead a team, run a business, chase your dream, or change your life when you're dragging through the day like a zombie. That means sleep matters. That means food matters. That means who you spend time with in the morning really matters. You can't hang with clowns and expect to build a kingdom. You can't start your day with doubters and think your faith will grow. You got to get around energy that lifts you, not drains you. People that challenge your thinking, not just nod and agree with your excuses. Because let me break something down for you. Rich people think different. They don't wake up wondering what the day will bring. They wake up and decide what the day will be. They don't react, they create. They don't hope, they expect. And that shift, that small mental tweak, that's everything. That's what separates winners from wishers. You see, every morning you wake up is a gift. But the problem is, too many people treat it like a burden. They roll over, groan, complain, and start the day already behind, already defeated, already dragging their feet. And you wonder why nothing changes. You wonder why you're still stuck in the same place with the same paycheck, the same mindset, the same fear, because you're not owning your mornings. You're not commanding your life. You're letting life bully you before you've even had breakfast. That ends today. Every single rich person you admire, whether it's the business moguls, the athletes, the artists, the entrepreneurs, they have one thing in common. They do not waste their mornings. They use that time to fuel up. They get their mind right. They hit the gym. They pray. They meditate. They write. They strategize. They don't just wake up. They rise. They elevate. That's what you've got to do. You got to stop waking up like you're the help and start rising like you're the CEO. Stop acting like you're renting your life and start owning it. You keep waiting for motivation, but let me tell you the truth. You don't need motivation, you need structure. Motivation comes and goes, but structure keeps you solid even on your worst day. Structure turns chaos into clarity. So when that alarm goes off, don't hit snooze. Don't hesitate. Sit up, stand up, speak up, get your blood moving, get your spirit aligned. Open your mouth and tell yourself, today I dominate, today I create, today I build. You got to be intentional. You got to move with precision. Don't just stumble into your day. Walk into it like you own the ground under your feet. Get dressed like a boss, not a victim. Prepare your mind like a warrior, not a worrier. That mental shift is your advantage. That's your edge. That's how you go from stuck to soaring, from broke to booked, from overlooked to undeniable. Let's talk about goals for a second. If you're not writing your goals down every morning, you're sleepwalking through life, period. That to-do list, that ain't enough. That's just errands. I'm talking about dreams, real goals. Write down 5 things you want to accomplish, 5 moves you want to make, 5 areas you want to grow in every single morning. Why? Because your mind needs direction. If you don't give your mind a target, it'll drift. And when your mind drifts, you lose. That's when you start scrolling. That's when you start doubting. That's when you start shrinking. You can't afford to shrink anymore. The world doesn't need another scared person hiding their greatness. It needs bold, focused, disciplined people who refuse to let fear make their decisions. It needs you to step up. And that begins in your morning. That first 60 minutes, That's your battlefield. You win there, you win everywhere. And don't get it twisted. Winning in the morning doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Sometimes you're going to wake up tired. Sometimes life's going to hit you with a curveball before you even get your shoes on. But you got to have a no matter what mindset. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter what's stressing you, no matter who's doubting you, you rise anyway. You show up anyway. That's how champions move. Now let's talk about your environment. Who you wake up next to, what you listen to, what you allow into your space. It all matters. You can't build a rich life in a toxic environment. You can't grow while breathing in negativity. You got to curate your mornings like your life depends on it, because it does. That music you play, that podcast you listen to, that voice in your head, it's all programming your day. So choose wisely, choose powerfully, choose with intention. You've got a gift. Yeah, you. Don't shake your head. I'm talking to you. You've got a gift this world needs, but you keep burying it under routine. You keep letting a job you hate silence a dream you love. You keep putting everyone else's needs above your own. You think self-sacrifice is noble, but what good is a broke, tired, bitter version of you to the people you love? You want to be a blessing? Get rich. You want to help your family? Get focused. You want to change your legacy? Own your morning. And here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. Most people don't want to be rich. They want to be comfortable. They want just enough to not struggle, just enough to relax. But let me ask you something. Was just enough what you dreamed about as a kid? Was comfortable what you saw when you imagined your future? I doubt it. You wanted the house, the car, the trips, the time, the freedom. You wanted abundance. You wanted overflow. So stop living like you're fine with crumbs when you were built for feasts. Comfort is a trap. It'll lull you to sleep. It'll make you forget your purpose. It'll convince you to settle. But not you, not anymore. You're not here for average. You're not here to blend in. You're not here to survive until Friday. You're here to take over. You're here to build something that lasts. You're here to be the one that flips the script for your bloodline. And the first step, it's how you wake up. It's what you do before 8 a.m. It's the voice you use when you talk to yourself. It's the energy you bring when nobody's watching. Because how you do the private things determines how you receive the public blessing.